النار ذات الوقود إذ هم عليها قعود وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء شهيد إن الذين فتنوا المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثم لم يتوبوا فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب الحريق إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ذلك الفوز الكبير إن بطش ربك لشديد إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد فعال لما يريد هل أتاك حديث الجنود فرعون وثمود بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب والله من ورائهم محيط بل هو قرآن مجيد في لوح محفوظ صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Thank you, Zainab, for that riveting recitation. You illuminated our souls, you illuminated the hall with that recitation. Thank you so very much. Up next, we have our little tiny brother, Muhammad, who's also going to be reciting Surah Qadr. Alhamdulillah. Please welcome him with a loud salawat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr wa ma adraka ma laylatul qadr. Laylatul qadr khairun min alf shahr. Tanazzalul malaikatu war-ruhu fiha bi'izni min kulli salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Excellent, mashallah. Well done.
Well done, very good.
That was very nice recitation. Up next, we will have Hadith Kisa. Let's continue to illuminate the hall with your loud salawat. Also, very quickly, just want to mention that we have, obviously, alhamdulillah, our children here. But I just request the parents to keep an eye on them. I don't think there is a small majlis for them, or a mini majlis or interactive session. So if you could just keep an eye on your children, please, because recently we've noticed a few drawings and stuff like that on the wall. So it'd be really good if you just keep them close to you this evening and tomorrow as well. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. दे बुलंद सलावत।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري أنه قال عن فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة. فقلت عليك السلام. قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا. فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله. أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي. قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت عليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله. أتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي. قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهم ما تحت الكساء.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت عليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها وابن عم رسول الله؟ فقلت نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له: وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء، فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال: اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل: يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل: يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال للأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة.
اللهم صل على محمد.
فقال النبي ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مهموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
बारी दिगर आवाज़ बुलंद सलवात।
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمद.
नारे तकबीर,
अल्लाहु अकबर,
नारे तकबीर,
अल्लाहु अकबर,
नारे रिसालत,
या रसूलल्लाह,
नारे रिसालत,
या रसूलल्लाह,
नारे हैदरी,
या अली,
नारे हैदरी,
या अली।
आवाज़ बुलंद सलवात।
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
ये एक शेर मौला की शान में
बिस्मिल्लाह।
इस शेर का कुछ एक इसको मिसिंग कर दिया गया था ताकि ज़माने से बेसिकली इसको छुपा दिया गया था। तो
माशाअल्लाह।
आपकी खिदमत में समाअत फरमाएं।
अल्लाहुम्मा
صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
शाह अस्त हुसैन बादशाह अस्त हुसैन, शाह अस्त हुसैन बादशाह अस्त हुसैन, दी अस्त हुसैन, दी पनाह अस्त हुसैन। निदाए रूही रूह अस्त हुसैन, निदाए रूही कुरान में उस वक्त को कहते हैं जब परवरदिगार ने अपनी रूह को हज़रत आदम अलैहिस्सलाम के लिए भेजा था उतरने के लिए। निदाए रूही उस वक्त को कहते हैं।
निदाए रूह अस्त हुसैन इस्म अल्लाह ज़ात अस्त हुसैन सरदार नदा दस्त दर दस्त यजीद हक्का के बिना ला इलाहा अस्त हुसैन वाले दिगर बाबा से बुलंद याद ज़ैनब को जो अब्बास के बाजू आए याद ज़ैनब को जो अब्बास के बाजू आए देर तक आँख में बेसाख्ता आंसू आए देर तक आँख में बेसाख्ता आंसू आए खबरे असगर पगड़ी बर को चरागा तो हुआ खबरे असगर पगड़ी बर को चरागा तो हुआ करबला में जो भटकते हुए जुगन आए करबला में जो भटकते हुए जुगन आए मिट गई याद से तकदीर के माथे की शिकन मिट गई याद से तकदीर के माथे की शिकन ज़हन में जब अली अकबर तेरे गेसू आए ज़हन में जब अली अकबर तेरे गेसू आए बढ़ के लहरों ने कदम चूम लिए बच्चों के बढ़ के लहरों ने कदम चूम लिए बच्चों के चांद मुस्लिम के जो कूफे में लबे जू आए चांद मुस्लिम के जो कूफे में लबे जू आए क्यों न चूमे उन्हें जन्नत की हवाएं मौला क्यों न चूमे उन्हें जन्नत की हवाएं मौला होंठ मेरे तेरी तहरीस को जब छू आए होंठ मेरे तेरी तहरीस को जब छू आए हम छुपा कर उसे रखते हैं कफन में मोहसिन हम छुपा कर उसे रखते हैं कफन में मोहसिन खून शबीर खुशबू आए। बाबा से बुलंद सलावत।
Just really quickly, I wanted to mention that we have one of our Mormon brothers bring a special gift for us. He also brought it a couple of nights ago, but we weren't sure exactly what it was. So background, we actually have the flag that used to be placed on the dome of Imam Hussein's shrine, and we have it with us today, so we're going to take it out and present it to you during Muharram time. So feel free to do ziyarah, pay tribute to Imam Hussein alayhi salam in your own way. I just wanted to make sure that we got that out there because I think previously we weren't sure what that was about. So secondly, for those of you just joined, we don't have a kids class or a majlis today, so please do keep your kids next to you at all times. It goes for me as well. Yeah, because we saw some writings and markings on the wall. We have to be very careful because it's not our property. We do have to give it back in the best shape that we can. So let's welcome Intizar Bhai with a loud salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad
wa ali Muhammad wa ajal farajam.
ये कौन सी मस्तूरा है क्या मांग रही है। ये कौन सी मस्तूरा है क्या मांग रही है। इस्लाम की खिदमत का मांग रही है। हर साहिब गैरत से रिदा मांग रही है। परदेस में मरने की दुआ मांग रही है। अफसुरदा है अफलाक सया पोश ज़मी है। जिब्रील जरा देख ये ज़ैनब तो नहीं है। ये कौन सी मस्तूरा है क्या मांग रही है।
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali
शान करबला के तूने तो देखे होंगे। उतरे थे इस ज़मीन पर अर्शे बरी के तारे है चांद करबला के तूने तो देखे होंगे। उतरे थे इस ज़मीन पर अर्शे बरी के तारे है चांद। ऐ चांद जलवागर है हाशिम का चांद यहाँ पर। खैरात रोशनी की ले लीजियो यहाँ से। ऐ चांद इस ज़मीन पर रखियो हमेशा ठंडक। सोते जो हैं यहाँ पर ज़हरा के हैं ये प्यारे है चांद करबला के। तस्नी मुसलसबीलो कौसर के हैं ये मालिक। मारे गए जो प्यासे इस नहर के किनारे है चांद करबला के। हुर और हबीब मारे गए यहीं पर बेदर्दियों सितम से, मुस्लिम के दोनों प्यारे ज़ैनब के दोनों बेटे है चांद करबला के। पामाल हो रही थी कासिम की लाश रन में, अब्बास और सरवर चुनते थे उनके टुकड़े है चांद करबला के। बाजू कटे यहीं पर अब्बास बावफा के, इज़्ने वगा न पाया पानी भिला न पाए है चांद करबला के। इस सरज़मीं पे गुजरा सरवर पे ये भी सदमा, सीने पे खाई बरछी हम शक्ल मुस्तफा ने है चांद करबला के। पानी पिलाने लाए एक महलका को सरवर कि अज़बा पुरमला ने तीरे सितम लगा के है चांद करबला के। गर्दन छिदे पिसर की बाजू छिदा पिदर का, दोनों तड़प तड़प के प्यासे जहां से गुजरे है चांद करबला के। इस बन में एक बच्ची बाबा को ढूंढती थी, बिखरे हुए पड़े थे जब सर बुरी गलाशे है चांद करबला के। फिर ये भी तूने देखा वो हम रसीद बच्ची, सीने पे सो रही थी बेसर पिदर से लिपटे है चांद करबला के। बाजू बंधे यहीं पर पहले पहल हरम के, इस सरज़मीं से निकले सज्जाद सर झुकाए है चांद करबला के। पहुंचा है करबला में नाचीज़ सिबत जाफर, ऐ काश फिर मुकद्दर हमको ये दिन दिखाए है चांद करबला के।
खुदा अतबुलंद दी आवाज़ बुलंद सलावा। जो मोमिनात यहाँ मौजूद हैं और जो हमारे साथ फेसबुक पे हैं, और कोई भी मोमिनात कहीं भी बीमार हैं, दुआ है कि बीमारी करबला के सदके उन्हें शिफाए कामला व आजला अता फरमाए। और आप लोगों से दुआ है कि मिलकर तमाम मोमिनीन की सेहत याबी के लिए 5 मरतबा जो है वो अम्मा युजीब का विर्द करते हैं। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अम्मन युजीबुल मुस्तर्रा इज़ा दाअ व यक्शिफुस सू। 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 बवाज़े बुलंद सलावा। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। मौला हुसैन की शान में चंद अशआर कि हुसैन सदा तेरा नाम बरगुज़ीदा बरगुज़ीदा सरबुलंद हमेशा बुलंद रहने वाला। हुसैन सदा तेरा नाम बरगुजीदा, मैं करबला के लहू लहू दश्त में तुझे दुश्मनों के नरगे में खलीफाए वक्त के मुकाबिल चट्टान बनकर डटा हुआ देखता हूं तो सोचता हूं कि ऐ हुसैन, तेरे सारे हबीब, तेरे सारे रफीक, तेरे सभी हमनवा राहे खुदा में अपने सरों की फसलें कटा चुके हैं। गुलाब से जिस्म अपने खून में नहा चुके हैं और चिराग से ताबनाक चेहरे बुझा चुके हैं। और हुसैन, अब फकत तू सिताराए सुबह की तरह रोशनी का परचम लिए खड़ा है। मज़ादारों, ये कोई दास्तां नहीं है, ये कोई किस्सा कहानी नहीं है, बल्कि यहीं से तारीख अपने ताजा सफर का आगाज कर रही है। यहीं से इंसानियत नई रफ़तों को परवास कर रही है। और यहीं से मैं आज उस करबला से सवाल करता हूं कि ऐ करबल, तुझसे किसने रिदाएं मांगी थी? ऐ करबल, तुझसे किसने जवान मांगे थे? ऐ करबल, तुझसे किसने बेशीर मांगे थे? अज़ादारों, ज़मीन करबल जवाब देगी, रिदाए लोगों लुटी नहीं है, जवान देखो मरे नहीं है, बेशीर देखो कटे नहीं है। ज़मीन करबल जवाब देगी, हुसैन मेरा यही कहीं। और कौन हुसैन? आइए मोहसिन नबी शहीद से पूछते हैं। वो ये कहते हैं कि हुसैन जो नबी की आंख का नूर है, हुसैन जो अली की रूह का चैन है। कभी देख अपने खमीर में, कभी पूछ अपने ज़मीर से, वो जो मिट गया वो यजीद था, जो ना मिट सका वो हुसैन है, वो हुसैन। बाबा से बुलंद सलाम।
Brothers and sisters, tonight is a devastating night. There's not much to say, and of course I'll leave it to the expert to elaborate and illustrate what tonight means to us in just a bit. Well, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you. From your team here at Al-Ajal, thank you for making this Ashra program a success. It could not have been done without you. Your participation, your contribution, you from picking up the mats and moving the tables and chairs, from the Niyaz and the Barak, everything is possible because of you, and we thank you for that. Of course, your reward lies with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. All we can do is say thank you. I also want to mention quickly that some of the sisters, they took the initiative. They brought their own tablets, they created PowerPoint presentations, they printed out posters with calligraphy of Imam Hussein and Hazrat Abbas's name on it, and they started kids' majlises and kids' classes, and they did it by themselves. And it was amazing to see how the kids were getting involved. And this is one of the reasons we actually were able to listen to our speaker and give him our attention. So that was amazing to see as well. May Allah just bless all of you. And last but in no way least, I want to thank you, the man that has been serving as a beacon of light for us through this Ashra program. Of course, I'm talking about our brother Abbas Mirza, who just brought so much to the table. He took us on a journey. He gave us so much detail, so much information, data, stats, surveys. Oh, he gave us plenty of surveys. And I'll wait for a few more, inshallah. And he did it all because for all of us, so that we can all collectively strengthen our faith and our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's down to us now. I'm sure his words are still going to resonate with us even much after this Ashra has passed. So we need to start implementing as much like he's done today. And Brother Ross, we from Al-Ajal, we'd like to thank you. We're so grateful that you decided to come and offer your services. We have nothing much to offer you, maybe a glass of water from time to time. I don't really see what here today. But you know what? There is something that we perhaps can give you. Perhaps you might even want us to do this for you. And that is supplicate. guys do dua for you. So brothers and sisters, let's take this opportunity. There's no time like the present. If I can just ask you to raise your hands and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Kareem, for the sake of Abu Abdullah, for the sake of your wali, the one who you called Nafs Mutmainna, the tranquil soul, the one who you asked for him to return to yourself on the day of Ashura, when he was fully fatigued, exhausted, he had succumbed to so many injuries from head to toe. You asked him to come back. Enough is enough. Just come back to me. We ask you for the Ghurbat of Al-Hussein to please give our brother Ibas anything he wants. Anything his heart desires, give him tenfold. Please bestow, please bestow him and his family with your infinite grace and mercy and blessings, protection. And I also duplicate this dua for all of us here as well. So from all of us, Brother Abbas, from the Mu'mineen that have been attending your lectures, from again the Al-Ajal group, thank you so very much. You've been an inspiration. Maybe you can actually come again, we'll take that one offline. But you've been an absolute gem and a star, and we have nothing but du'as for you. So I've taken up too much of your time, guys. On a personal note, a personal standpoint, me personally, I am conscious sometimes I've asked you to rush your recitations or recitals, and I'm very sorry about that. So if I've upset anyone, please forgive me. Use this night as an opportunity to just forgive me, please. Because I don't want anybody to leave upset or anything like that. Without further ado, please give your utmost attention to Brother Abbas Mirza as he delivers his powerful speeches. Sallu ala Muhammad wa alihi Muhammad.
नारे तकबीर, नारे तकबीर, नारे रिसालत, नारे रिसालत, नारे हैदरी, हैदरी, हबीब खुदा खतमुल अंबिया बावाज़े बुलंद सलावत।
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajah.
Will you please start, as we have every other day, with a surah al-Fatiha, in honor especially for those young souls, those young children, yes, those parents who have lost their young children, those souls in particular, for this night is the night of Abdullah Rabi. Bismillah ar-Rahman. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. Say indeed, my prayer, my rites of sacrifice, my living and my dying are for Allah, Lord of the worlds. No partner has He, and this I have been commanded, and I am the first among you of the Muslims. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بأبي عبد الله الحسين عليه السلام. This night, the night before the day of Ashura, was a very painful night for the Imams, where this was the last night Abba Abdullah alayhi salam had with his family He had his daughters with him. On this night they would smile because they could rest their head in his blessed lap. Yet tomorrow night, where will this same head be? Where the enemy will come and take the camp. Allahu Akbar. Sallallahu alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasul Allah. Sallallahu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, ya Sayyid al-Wasi, ya Ali ibn Abi Talib. Sallallahu alayki ya Fatimah al-Zahra, Sayyidati Nisa al-Alamin. Please accept our condolences, Fatimah al-Zahra. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Muhammad al-Hasan ibn Ali al-Mujtaba. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifna'ik. Alaykum minni salamullahi abadan ma baqit wa baqi al-layl wan-nahar wa la ja'ala Allahu akhir al-ahd minni li ziyaratikum. Send your salams on Aba Abdullah as if you were there watching everything unfold. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab al-Husayn wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. These 10 nights we have discussed many topics with the intention purely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have used this message of Aba Abdullah alayhi salam. Aba Abdullah, who gave absolutely everything in order for our religion that we can follow today. So that we can stay here, sit here in this majlis, and millions around the world can sit in their homes, watch on YouTube, or sit in the mosque, go to Karbala, go everywhere around the world, all so they can connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanks to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So we see everything Aba Abdullah alayhi salam did was for the sake of this religion. Where there's a beautiful saying, a truly beautiful saying from Aba Abdullah, which when we read it, it breaks our hearts. Where the Imam says, he says, if in order for this ummah of my grandfather, for this religion of my grandfather, if it takes my blood in order for it to straighten its path, then all swords come around me and take my life. Abba. You can tell from this statement what a man Aba Abdullah alayhi salam is. A man who has no care for his own self-desires, but all the care for humanity. A man that when the enemies, he sees them coming, attacking him, killing his family members, the last moment of his death, he's still calling them. He's still saying, do you know who I am? Are you sure it's right for you to kill me? On the morning of the day of Ashura, he mentioned, he said, is it right for you to kill me? If you don't believe what I'm saying, go ask your narrators, go ask Ja'far ibn Abdullah, go ask Anas ibn Malik, and they'll tell you that the Prophet said about my brother and I, that Hassan and Hussein are the masters of the youth of paradise. Do you not know that my father was the first to believe, Ali ibn Abi Talib? Do you not know that my mother is the daughter of Rasulullah, the one who Rasulullah would go out in the night and tell the companions, the one who angers Fatima angers Allah. Aba Abdullah alayhi salam, he would call them again and again and again, and he even called the night before Ashura. He called even Umar ibn Sa'd for a meeting. he asked Umar ibn Sa'd to come for a meeting. And in that meeting, we'll finish the majlis inshallah with this meeting. We'll see the difference, the true difference between haqq and batil. Yes. Between the pure message of Aba Abdullah alayhi salam and all those things which are not with the truth. You'll see how this leads them astray. So these 10 days, we have discussed many topics. We have discussed the idea of suffering. We have discussed, and I know maybe this topic we can discuss a little bit more, where we mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He causes us tests and trials the same way, subhanallah, Aba Abdullah had tests and trials. The same way His prophets had trials. No matter what trial you have, remember that those closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had the greatest trials. You need an example of someone who has a disease. There is no disease like the disease Nabi Ayyub had, alayhi salam. Where the hadith mentions that Nabi Ayyub alayhi salam, with his disease, he would walk the streets and everyone in the neighborhood would say, can you take this man away from here? The smell coming from him. Yes, the look of him, I don't want anything to do with disease. Allah. You see how the world treats the servants of Allah. We mentioned the hadith of the Imam where he said that surely this world is worth nothing in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the head of Nabi Yahya alayhi salam was placed on a plate, yes? Because of what this evil lady, this wicked lady did. If you have any sort of suffering in your life, remember that Allah loves you, that's why He's giving you this suffering. And remember the advice from the Holy Quran, that when affliction comes to them, they recite, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. That this world is temporary. You come from Allah, you return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That maybe in Surah At-Tawbah, Allah mentions another example. He mentions the people that they're tested twice or thrice or once or twice a year. Allah mentions. Again showing that the same way we have Ramadan each year, we have a holy month of Ramadan. Yes, to fast, to pray, Laylatul Qadr. We have Muharram, we have 10 days of Muharram every year to come to the masjid. These tests serve as reminders for us that maybe I had a test, it was really difficult. The first day after that test, I'm really appreciative. 2, 3, 4 years later, you've completely forgotten that test. This is another reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about these reasons of suffering. But someone might come and say, but Allah, why has Allah created poverty? You want to blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for poverty? Is it Allah's fault that 1% of the population has about 20% of the world's wealth? Is it Allah's fault of who the lawmakers are and how they make laws to just suit a few people? All of this, the same way the Quran tells us, and the prophets were sent as warners, that they warned us. And it also mentions that the state of a community will not change until that community changes themselves. That Allah has warned us through His prophets, and it's up to us to make those changes in order to change our society to a better place. We've also mentioned the idea of gratefulness, and alhamdulillah, Ali Hassan mentioned it was really nice for him to say. But for me, I'll tell you, I mentioned a few days ago about some health problems I had. The fact that I'm here doing 10 majlis, alhamdulillah, this is the pride of my life. This is the joy of my life. Alhamdulillah, I'm so happy. And I know he mentioned that you've all gained a lot. What would I have gained if I didn't have this opportunity? So it's me who thanks you for sitting here, putting up with me, putting up with maybe mistakes I made, yes, and keep coming. There's some faces I've seen every single day. Alhamdulillah, may Allah brighten your face. May Allah give you more and more reward, inshallah. So inshallah, we become grateful for everything we have in our life. Absolutely everything we become grateful. We mentioned the idea of communities, of how a community needs to come together.
that there are people suffering in your community. They don't openly talk about it. They don't openly talk about it. But as a community, we should be helping and striving to help those. Everyone in this community we should help. And I heard, just on the way here, I heard that there was a certain center, and when there was a child crying, making noise, and then the center said, can you take your child out of this center, please? We're trying to listen. Allahu Akbar. This majlis of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is for absolutely everybody. This majlis today, of all days, Allahu Akbar, today is the day we commemorate the 6-month-old infant of Allah. This center is for everyone, brothers and sisters. Focus on your youth. Focus on your little ones. Focus on your elderly. Focus on your adults. Focus on every single community. Focus on those who are into sports, those who are into art, those who are into fashion, those who are into this, into that, into everything. Invest in this. Invest in this that they have, this intention that they have, this love they have, this passion they have. Invest in it, brothers and sisters. Yet today, inshallah, we'll finish off the series where we talk about the essence of our worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason for everything that we do. That the Quran mentions that we sent every prophet. Yes, it says, and verily, we have sent among every ummah, yes, every community, every nation, a messenger proclaiming worship Allah alone and avoid and keep away of false deities. Yeah, 124,000 prophets, brothers and sisters, they all had the same message. Worship Allah, worship Allah. Stay away from these false deities. For us, you may be thinking, we don't have idols to worship. It's not a common thing in today's life. But in our life, are there idols which aren't physical idols? Are there things which we don't see specifically, that this is an idol in my way? That this is distracting me? Is it something that you have something to do at work or something, and the time of salah comes, you delay until Allah Akbar, 2 minutes left. Oh no, now the 2 minutes have finished. Are these the idols we have in our life? Are the idols we have in our life something that maybe it's a football match, maybe it's doing something or the other? Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the intention of every act. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't put anything before Allah. Don't put anything before Allah. Which is why I'll mention a beautiful hadith from Nabi Isa alayhi salam. As I mentioned yesterday, I mentioned another hadith from him, his holy prophet alayhi salam. Where, if you want to, by the way, look for these hadiths, there's a book, it's called Jesus from Shia Narrations. Yes, Al-Islam, they're all free. As with all the sources I mentioned, they're all free on the internet, subhanAllah. That's another thing we should be grateful for. That we live in an era where it's 2-3 clicks you can access the best sources of history. Which 50, 60 years ago, people had to travel the whole world just to get access of one manuscript of this. In a different language, they had to learn a whole new language to read something. We're so lucky, brothers and sisters, we're in this time today. So Jesus from Shia Narrations is the name of the book. Isa alayhi salam, he compares the acts of worship to that of a sick person. He says, a person who's sick and they see the beautiful food in front of them, but they can't enjoy it. Yeah? You ever been sick, ill, you have a tummy ache, yeah? Everyone around you, nihari, halim, biryani, everyone's having lovely food, for you just plain rice and yogurt. Yeah, it's not. You can't enjoy that food. Even when you look at it, it doesn't look appetizing anymore. He said it's the same way when it comes to worship. That when someone is more interested in the other things of the material aspects of this world, when it comes to worship, they have no interest in worship. Allahu Akbar. That we have a sickness, that we're putting material things in front of worship, that we're not making the most of it. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that in my salah I can't concentrate? My salah is 2 minutes, repetitive, I just do it because I do it. And I know this is a problem, by the way, we have this problem, yeah? There's lots of people who have this problem, so we need to discuss this aspect. Yeah? Why is it in salah that I can't concentrate? Is it because I don't know the true value of this salah? What do we say in adhan and iqamah? Hayya ala khayr al-amal. What does that mean?
To the best thing.
Come to the good
Come to the best of deeds. Yeah? Hayya ala khayr al-amal. Come to the best of deeds. And we see that is this the best of deeds? Allah Akbar. It's better than zakat. Is it better than song? Is it better than doing this, doing that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down this adhan. This is from Allah to the Holy Prophet. When you mention adhan, say hayya ala khayr al-amal. Come to the best of deeds, brothers and sisters. Come to the best of deeds. So it's important we concentrate. Why is this the best of deeds? How can I benefit from this salah? What is it about this salah which means that I can benefit? We see a hadith from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he has a youth, there's a youth in the community, and he comes to the Holy Prophet. And he says to the Holy Prophet, he says, Ya Rasulullah, I am a true believer. I am a true believer. Rasulullah says, in everything there is a truth. So tell me, what is it that you do that you think you are a true believer? He said, I have lost complete attachment to this world. All the material world, there's nothing in this world that takes me, that makes me think I want to have that thing. When in the middle of the night, in the nights I'm busy with salah, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the day I'm busy with hunger and thirst from fasting all day. So in the day he's fasting, in the night he's praying salah. What does he say? He says, I have no attachment to the material aspects of the world. This gives us an indication what salah is supposed to do. Worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To destroy that connection you may have to some material aspect, something or the other. That in the night I worship Allah, in the day I'm hungry and thirsty from the fast. That when I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I feel as if I'm in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I can see the angels in the heavens. Subhanallah. Rasulullah says to him, he says, surely you have spoken the truth. So the young boy says to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, please do one dua for me, let me die a shaheed. We speak a lot that we want to be a shaheed, that we want to be there with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that we would have been one of those companions with Aba Abdullah alayhi salam. And we really take it for granted, brothers and sisters. We really take it for granted. Where there was a story of a scholar where he said that he was someone who was a big scholar, senior scholar, and he would love Imam Hussein alayhi salam in a way that you could never understand how much he loved Aba Abdullah alayhi salam. That he said, if I was there, there's no way I wouldn't be there with Aba Abdullah. I'm sure, I'm certain I would be there with Aba Abdullah. So one day he has a dream. In that dream, it's a nightmare, not a dream, it's a nightmare. He's absolutely shocked. He wakes up. He says, in my dream last night, I saw Aba Abdullah alayhi salam in the deserts of Karbala, lying there, and I was on top of him ready to cut his head. Never take things for granted, brothers and sisters. It's so easy for us to say, I would be there with Aba Abdullah alayhi salam. There's certain qualities you need to have to be there with Aba Abdullah. Yes? When you had people like Hor, who had promised, yes, the general of Kufa. What does he say on the night before Ashura? What does he say? He says, I'm here to pick between heaven and hell. How can I pick hell over heaven? That full connection with the material world, finish. He has no care for the material world anymore. We have many examples of this in Karbala, where you have companions, yes, in the night before Aba Abdullah alayhi salam, he puts out the candle and he says to them, I give you permission to go home, go back to your tribes. They're here to kill me, they're not here to kill you. They're here to kill me, and they're not here to kill you. Go home, you have permission, it's fine. They say, Ya Aba Abdullah, how can we leave you? How can we leave you in Karbala? How will we answer Rasulullah on the day of Qiyamah? How is it possible? Either we will stay with you and have victory in this war, otherwise we are happy to die in this desert and you kill me, Ya Aba Abdullah. Where one companion famously says that if I was to be cut to 100 pieces, and I was brought back to life, and I was to be cut again, and this was to happen to me 100 times, by God, I will never leave you, Ya Aba Abdullah. They have no interest in the material world, brothers and sisters. No interest whatsoever. Which is why there's a hadith, an interesting hadith, from Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. Where the Imam says that when it comes to suffering, when it comes to feeling pain, if you truly knew the reward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you from this pain, you would be praying, Ya Allah, cut me to pieces. Cut me to pieces. Shocking. Shocking for us to hear. The companions of Imam and Hussein alayhi salam, they're happy to be cut to pieces for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This pain is not a thing for them. Zero care for pain, zero care for material possessions. They're purely there to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, there's nothing you can offer these people. There's nothing you can offer them to stop them from fighting and dying for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa So we see that's all the acts of worship, brothers and sisters. How do we turn into people where we can be or get closer to this level that they have? Where I mentioned the Holy Quran, yes, the verses at the beginning. Truly my prayer and my service of sacrifice, my life and my death are all for you, Ya Allah. This cherish the cherisher of the world. No partner have you. This as I am commanded, and I am the first of those who bow down to you. That this is the interest, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Every act of worship, we're supposed to be doing purely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where if we look at what Imam Ali alayhi salam would describe as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I think it's important we see this in Nahj al-Balagha, we see Amir al-Mu'min alayhi salam. He describes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, praise is due to Allah, whose worth cannot be described by speakers. Whose worth cannot be described by speakers. Whose bounties cannot be counted by calculators. You can never count the bounties of Allah. And whose claim to obedience cannot be satisfied by those who attempt to do so. When the height of intellectual courage cannot appreciate and the depths of understanding cannot reach. The height of intellectual courage can never appreciate the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the depths of understanding cannot reach. He for whose description there is no limit has been laid down. No eulogy exists. There's no way we can explain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His magnificence. No time is ordained and no duration is fixed. He brought forth creation through His omnipotence, dispersed winds through His compassion, and made firm the shaking earth with rocks. Yes? Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, describing the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe we need to remind ourselves by reciting, yes? Reading Nahj al-Balagha. Most sermons, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam starts with some sort of description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a similar way. Remind yourselves of who you're worshipping. Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam. The Imam would be seen while he's doing wudu, yeah? He'd be seen pale, yeah, shaking. He'd be going to salah, his whole complexion would change. They asked him, Ya Imam, why is this happening to you? What's happened? He said, do you not know who I'm going in front of? I'm going in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is who you're going in front of, brothers and sisters. When it comes to salah, what can we do in salah to try and increase our remembrance? What can we do? Any ideas? I'm sure you have ideas.
Translation, absolutely. We can know what we're saying in our salah. That's a very important thing. Yes? The Holy Prophet says 2 units of prayer in contemplation. Yes? And what you're saying is greater than a whole night of praying with not knowing what you're saying. Yeah? So understand, of course, we're not Arabic, we're not from that community where they understood everything. We're from the English-speaking community. Understand. Read what you're saying. Yes? Any other points you could say? Don't rush. How can we help ourselves not rush, do you think?
Obviously, the translation, make sure that there's some time.
Yeah, make sure it's on time. Read the translation. Don't rush. Yes, there's hadith which mentioned, yes, put some nice smell on you when you go to salah. Put some nice smell on. Treat this salah as a meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you had a meeting with the CEO of some big company, yeah? Or you had a meeting, let's say with the Prime Minister, Rishi, maybe it won't be very interesting, that meeting. You probably will miss it by purpose. But let's say you have a meeting with a really senior, inspirational person, yeah? Are you going to take any chances with that meeting? Are you going to not prepare for that meeting? Are you going to go to that meeting just smelling, wearing the most sweaty clothes, not caring about this? Yes, not having a wash, not doing anything. Are you going to go to? No, of course not. You're meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 5 times a day you're meeting Him. So they mention when you come to prayer, yes, put some nice smells on. This is mustahab. Another thing, yes, it mentioned it's makruh to pray while you're absolutely exhausted. Yes, when you're so drowsy. This is makruh. This is not recommended at all. What salah do you think is the most likely salah where we will attend like this? Fajr, yeah, Fajr. I know sometimes we wake up for Fajr, and sometimes we think, oh, I am still sleepy, so maybe by the time I'm done, I'll still be sleepy, I go straight back to sleep. It's not the sunnah of Rasulullah. It's not the point of prayer, brothers and sisters. You don't want to be in that grave where it says prayer, salah. All that salah will be there to help you in that grave. You don't want to be in that grave and you see all those years of salah I did. Where are they? They're not here. You don't want to be where that salah was not accepted, brothers and sisters. You don't want to be in that situation. When you go for salah, maybe, yes, wake up for Fajr, wake up maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. Yes, get a bit refreshed, put some cold water on your face. Maybe read just a few verses of the Holy Quran. Maybe 1, 2, 3 verses. Yes, get in the mood for this meeting. This meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe some of your other salahs, yes? I know some people at home, when they go to salah, yes, maybe they're in their pajamas, they have some clothing. Yes, this clothing is for salah. My nice clothes, I iron these clothes, I treat these clothes well. These are the clothes I go to salah. Treat salah like you're meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Know the greatness of this salah. Yes? Know the greatness of this salah, brothers and sisters. This salah is, hayya ala khayrul amal. The best of deeds. The best of deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us this. The beauty of this salah. It can change your life, brothers and sisters. So we mentioned salah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Because when we're worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can't truly understand, as Amir al-Mu'min alayhi salam said, we can't truly count the greatness, the perfection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's infinite. And we see a hadith we mentioned from the Holy Prophet, which mentions about Nabi Musa alayhi salam, where he says that one day Nabi Musa alayhi salam, yes, when he went up to the mountain and he left the Bani Israel, he went up to the mountain and he had, yes, a conversation with Allah, an intimate conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One thing he mentioned, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Nabi Musa. He said, Nabi Musa, do you thank me, Ya Musa alayhi salam? Do you thank me properly? Nabi Musa alayhi salam replied. He said, every word of thanks I say to you, Ya Allah, there is another word I need to say to thank you. In other words, there's no pure, real description of how I can truly thank you, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, as long as you think this way, this is the correct way to thank me. Allah has given us infinite bounties. What we can thank Him for is limited. There's a limited amount that we can thank Him. Allah is so merciful. Yes, He is the Lord of the worlds. He is our Creator. He is closer than our jugular vein. Yes? He says, I know you can't, that's fine. As long as we thank you like this, then this is fine. Allah is so amazing, so beautiful, so merciful, that they say when you do a good deed, the hadith mentioned, yes, multiply by 10. When you commit a sin, yes, it mentioned, there's a hadith in Al-Kafi, where it mentioned that when someone commits a sin, it's not written down until the end of the day, out of hope that you'll ask for forgiveness before the end of the day. This is how Allah treats you. He loves you so much. Do you love Allah? When you go to Salah, how much do you love Allah? Do you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than just your friends, than your family? Do you love Allah more than that football match? Do you love Allah more than playing this game or that game? Yes, loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Contemplate on what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. So we see, yes, another thing that was mentioned was understand translation, yeah? The translation of what you're saying. So let's give that a go. Right? So we start the Salah, Surah Al-Fatiha. Anyone want to give translation? We'll start easy. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most magnificent, most merciful, yes? Most beneficent, the top of mercy. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Yeah? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Yeah, you see in the news about all these UFOs or whatever. Yes, our religion says Rabbil Alameen. He's the Lord of the worlds. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim.
The merciful on the top of the top.
Yes. Rahman Ar-Rahim. MashaAllah. Maliki Yawmiddin.
Master of the Day of Judgment.
Master of the Day of Judgment. We've seen the kalima, yeah, that we recite, yes? We say what? Tawheed, Surah Di, Tawheed, Adalat, Nabuwat, Imam, Qiyamah. Yeah, Qiyamah, we mentioned, yes? Master on the Day of Judgment, yes? There's a hadith from Muhammad alayhi salam. Where he would mention, when he would mention this line in his salah, yes, Maliki Yawmiddin, he would repeat it a couple of times. To remind himself of the Day of Judgment. What a day that will be, the Master of the Day of Judgment. Maliki Yawmiddin, yes? Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. What does that mean?
We worship you and we seek assistance from you.
It is you we worship and you we ask for help, yes? Remember these brothers and sisters, yeah? You may go ask other things for help, yes? Every day in your salah you say, we worship you alone and it's you alone we ask for help. Remember this. This is pure Tawheed. This surah, there's a reason why this surah is mentioned in the hadith. That I would not be surprised if someone mentions Surah Al-Fatiha, the dead body will get up. I would not be surprised. Because of the greatness of this surah, yes? Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Keep us on the straight path. Yeah? Sirata al-mustaqim, straight path. Sirata al-ladhina an'amta alayhim, غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. What does that mean? That's the second part.
Guide us to the path of those who want to.
Yes, of your righteous servants. Yeah? The path of your righteous servants and not the path of those who invoke your anger, Ya Allah. Tawalla, tabarra. Yes, all of these things are in this verse. Yes, Imam, yes, is in this verse. Nabuwa in this verse. Yes, the love of the Holy Prophet and his household in this verse. Guide us, yes, on that path. That is the path of your righteous servants and not those who invoke your anger, Ya Allah, yes? And then we say another surah. And then we go down and we say what? Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdihi. What does that mean?
Praise be to the Azim Sustainer.
This all high sustainer, yes? Praise be to the high sustainer, for I praise. Yes, it's worthy of my praise.
Sami Allahu liman hamida. What does that mean?
When you praise, he has heard you.
That's excellent, mashallah. This is the only answer I had. We mentioned your top merciful, you weren't here unfortunately. Yes? Allah surely hears and accepts the praise of one who calls out his praise. What a beautiful statement. What a beautiful statement. Yes? Allah accepts the praise that you give him. There's nothing more we want than Allah to accept our dua, yes? Everything we ask for. Allah is listening to me, that's fine. That's better than everything else in the world, yes? Sami Allahu liman hamida. Gone down, yes, into sajda. Yes, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih. It's very similar to the last one.
Praise be to the high and sustainer, Allah.
Yes, yes. Praise be to the high sustainer, yes, who I am praising, yes, who's worthy of my, yes, of all praise. And then we get up and say what? It's optional, you don't have to say this. Record, of course, I'm not saying don't say it. Yes. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu. Yes, in between, sorry, I should have made that clear. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu. What a beautiful statement. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu. So we say these things. And the Holy Prophet says about sajda, where he says, if you knew the true worth of sajda, you would never get up from this sajda. You need sajda all the time. That if you want to be the closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's when you're in sajda. You see in the final rak'ah, yes, the leader of the salat usually extends by reciting some dua afterwards. Yes. To extend this sajda is the most important aspect of this religion. This is the closest you'll be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this sajda. Worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to be the closest to Allah, go in sajda. Which is why, yes, it's recommended to go in sajda. You see, yes, Sadio Mane or Mo Salah, when they play this, it's for a goal to go in sajda. Yes, out of thankfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That this sajda is everything but this sajda. And then we get up, we do the second rak'ah. Let's say we finish at the second rak'ah. How do we finish the salah? What do we say in the tashahhud? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Yes? It's saying we bear witness, yes, that there is no God but Allah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Yes? Wahdahu la sharika lahu. And who there is no partners for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. What does that mean? I bear witness Muhammad is a servant, a prophet. Allahu Akbar. Yes? In other words, everyone, we're all servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes? But we say, I bear witness Muhammad is a servant, a prophet. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Where's Mahdi? Oh, he's gone. He's on the run now. He didn't answer. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salams upon, yes, the Nabi, the Prophet, yes. Salam, send my blessings, send my salams to him. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi s-salihin. What does that mean?
Salam on us and the good country.
Yes. On us, yes, those who are praying with you. Salam on us. This is our religion, yes, community. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
नारे तकबीर, नारे रिसालत, नारे हैदरी, नबी खुदा खतमुल अंबिया बवाज़िर बुलंद सलावत।
Sorry about this. Sorry about this.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And peace and blessings be upon all those righteous servants, those righteous believers around the world. We see on the night of Ashura, it's the night before Ashura, we see Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. Yes, he calls, he says, bring Umar ibn Sa'd here. Invite him for a meeting. They invite Umar ibn Sa'd. They invite Umar ibn Sa'd. And he says, Ya Umar, do you not know my status? Do you not know who I am? Do you not know the Prophet would say about me that I am the master of the youth of paradise? He said, yes. He said, Ya Umar, why don't you join this army? It's fine, you can join this army. Everything you've done, you've cut off water from our camp, you can join this army. Umar ibn Sa'd said, I'm afraid, Ya Hussein, that my house will be confiscated, it will be torn down, yeah? Abu Abdullah says, Ya Umar, if that's the case, I will build you a new house for myself. I will build the house for you myself. Ya Abu Abdullah, I am afraid that all my property will be confiscated. Imam Hussein, he said, I will offer you all of my property. You can take my best property. You can choose a property of my property, you can take that property. Yes, this materialistic man, Allahu Akbar. He's saying, he then says a line, yes, a really arrogant line. He says, but there's one thing that you can't give me, Abu Abdullah, and that's the land of rain. You can't give me the land of rain. This is the master of the youth of paradise. And what is rain? I don't even know what that is today. And he never, by God, he never even got it. Yes, all these enemies promised. Yes, Ju'dah is promised. Marriage to Yazid. Yes, kill Imam al-Hassan, marriage to Yazid. Yes, she never even got that. Because who's going to have a daughter who will kill her own husband? So you see, these enemies, they're so in love with this material world. So Abu Abdullah alayhi salam says to him, Ya Umar, if that's the case, then may Allah curse you. If this is how close you are to this material world, then we will have this war. He then says, but there's one thing, give us one more night. Give us one more night. What is it, Ya Abu Abdullah? What do you wish to do in this night? Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. Yes, you want to commemorate Abu Abdullah. Remember these words. Abu Abdullah says, he says, on this night, I will be deep in worship to my Creator. I will pray Salah over and over again to my Creator. On this night, I will read the Holy Quran. On this night, you want to commemorate Abu Abdullah, recite some Quran tonight. He then says a line. Yes, he says, on this night, I will be seeking extensive forgiveness, deep in seeking forgiveness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will be seeking so much forgiveness. You are the master of the youth of paradise, yet you want one night to seek forgiveness. So who are we that we don't seek forgiveness in this night? Say it with me, brothers and sisters. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu alayhi. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu alayhi. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu alayhi. Abu Abdullah, he then says to his companions, leave me, yes? That you can go, you can leave. They say, by God, we will never leave you, Ya Abu Abdullah. They can offer us the world, we'll never leave you, Ya Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. And then we see that on this night, there's a poem in Iran, where he mentions a poem. He says, on this night, Abu Abdullah was surrounded with his companions, but on that night he had no companions with him. On this night he had bodyguards outside of his tent. Yet on that night Abu Abdullah was left all alone in Karbala. On this night the daughters of Abu Abdullah had a lap to sleep upon, but on tomorrow night they will have nowhere to sleep and will be chased by the enemies and the fires. Ya Abu Abdullah, let me take you to the day of Ashura, when Abbas was killed, when Ali ibn al-Akbar was killed, when
al-Qasim was killed, there was no companions left for Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. He looked to his left, he looked to his right, only to see his companions slaughtered like sacrificial lambs. He then called out, Allah, hal min nasir yansurna liwajhillah, Allah, hal min nabin yadub anharam al-Rasul Allah. Is there anyone to come and say and defend the women of Rasulullah? At that point, a cry came from the cradle, Allahu Akbar. There was one more soldier who couldn't walk into the battlefield with his tiny legs. There was one soldier, the 6-month-old infant Abdullah al-Radi, Allahu Akbar. Those of you who have children in your family, those of you who have the smallest children in your family, can you ever bear to see them where they're struggling for a breath, they're struggling to stay alive? Allahu Akbar. Imam al-Hussein said, send my infant to me. Maybe I can ask them for a drop of water so Abdullah will survive after this. Allahu Akbar. Abu Abdullah, he goes on top of the highest camel. He changes his clothes out of the war clothes. He hides Abdullah from the shining sun. He takes him to the river Euphrates. He then looks at the enemy and says to them that you are here to fight me. You have killed all the adults in the camp, but this young child has committed nothing. And if you are afraid that I won't drink the water, I will leave Abdullah here for you to take him, so you can give him a drop of water. At that moment, the enemy started to debate. Some of them took their swords out and said, this young child, we must give him water. He's only a 6-month-old infant. Allahu Akbar. Umar ibn Sa'ad, he looks towards his archer, Harmala. He says to Harmala, stop the source of this dispute. Harmala says, Ya Umar ibn Sa'ad, do you want me to shoot the father or the son? Allahu Akbar. Umar ibn Sa'ad says, he said, can you not see the whiteness of his neck? Strike your arrow. Allahu Akbar. Ya Abu Abdullah, Harmala puts an arrow in his arch. Allahu Akbar. Harmala, he drops his arrow. He puts in his arch again, he drops his arrow. This happened 3 times. Mukhtar asked him. He said, Ya Harmala, why did you do this? He said, every time I put an arrow in my arch, I can see on the side a woman beating her face. Allahu Akbar. Don't kill my baby, Abdullah. Just give him some water. Harmala, he puts an arrow in his arch. He fires into the neck of the 6-month-old infant. The arrow goes through Abdullah's neck, going into the hand of Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah feels the blood on his hand. He then throws it into the sky. And he says, Ya Allah, you are a witness to all of this. Everything that they've done, you're a witness to it. Abu Abdullah then says a line to show us his connection with Allah. He says, what makes it easier upon me is that I know Allah is watching. A voice comes from the sky saying, Da'hu ya Hussein, Da'hu. Let him go, ya Hussein, let him go. For there is a baby in Jannah to look after him. Ya Abu Abdullah, is that maid your mother Fatima? Is she looking after Abdullah? Is she rocking that cradle, holding her broken rib? Allahu Akbar. Abu Abdullah, he takes his son Abdullah al-Radi. He goes back to the camp. But how can a father take his son to the mother. His mother thought her son would get a drop of water. Instead, this corpse is coming back. Aba Abdullah, he takes 7 steps forward and 7 steps back. He does this again and again while calling out, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This is what supports Aba Abdullah in this moment. Allahu Akbar. Let me tell you the tragedy of Abdullah Rabi. There was a time, yes, where one of the narrators say, I saw Hussein and he was digging a grave for his 6-month-old infant at the back of the tent. But at Sham Ghariba, when all the enemies had a head, there was a tribe which never had a head to present to Ibn Ziyad. So I told him, I saw Hussein digging a grave for his 6-month-old infant. They went to the grave. They dug up the grave to get the head of this 6-month-old infant. Allahu Akbar. Ya Aba Abdullah. Allahumma la'anahu wa la'ala min zalama haqqa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wa akhir da'wa annahu ala dhalik. اللهم لأن الزاهرة التي جاهدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وضربت على قتله اللهم لعنهم جميعا.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. اللهم صل على أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على
You want to do here?
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن علي ولي الله أشهد أن علي حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. ركعت مغرب واجب قربة إلى الله. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانهر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى بحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. اللهم لأن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر دعوة إنه على ذلك. اللهم لأن الأصابة التي جاهدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وطعبت على قتله اللهم لأنهم جميعا. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب عليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بقول الله الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب عليه الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد يا لطيف يا كريم يا رب العالمين الغوث 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 الله الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful. O Allah, I beseech thee for the cause of thy mercy, direct my path safely from every sin, benefit from virtue, salvation from hellfire, every family and children of the paradise, and thy pleasure in the moral peace, and the proximity of thy Prophet Muhammad and his purified children. Peace be on Allah. O Allah, those bounties we have, all of thee. There's no deity except thee. I beseech thy forgiveness and turn to thee. Lord.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد.
The sayings of Imam Ali in this article are taken from Naji al-Baghdad. There are people who worship Allah to gain His favor. This is the worship of traders. Here are some of worship to keep themselves free from His word. This is the worship of slaves, a few who obeyed Him out of their sense of gratitude and oblation. This is the worship of free and noble men. He who is greedy is disgraced, who describes his hardship will always be eliminated, who has no control over his tongue will often have to face discomfort.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. well done. Well done, young man. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن علي ولي الله أشهد أن علي حجة الله هيا على السلاح هيا على السلاح هيا على الفلاح هيا على الفلاح هيا على خير العمل هيا على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله استغفر الله سورة قصر إشارة قربة إلى الله الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر الله أكبر الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر استغفر الله ربي وأتوب عليه الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر بحول الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وإلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر استغفر
لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما
O Allah, surely I have no knowledge of the main source of my subsistence, and I seek it only through the passing thoughts that come to my heart. And I wander about in cities, searching for it, and I am perplexed in regard to what it is I search for. I do not know whether it is in the valley, or if it's in the mountains, in the earth or in the heavens, in the continent or in the seas, and in whose hands it is, and from whose it is. And surely I know that you have its knowledge, and its sources are in your hand, and you alone distribute it by your kindness, and create opportunity through your mercy. O Allah, therefore bless Muhammad and his progeny, and O Lord, increase my sustenance, apportioned by you, and make it easy to search and the source near, and do not make me strive in the search of what you have not decreed for my sustenance. For surely you are indifferent to chastise me, and I need your mercy. Bless Muhammad and his progeny, and by your grace show generosity to your slave. Surely you are the most generous.
कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो पाबंद न हो आने रोने पे न पहरा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो जिसको नींद आती शबीर के सीने पर जिसको नींद आती शबीर के सीने पर जिंदा कर जिंदा जिंदा कर जिंदा उसके लिए कज़ा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो जिसको नींद आती शबीर के सीने पर जिसको नींद आती शबीर के सीने पर जिंदा दर जिंदा जिंदा दर जिंदा उसके लिए कज़ा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो जिंदानों से आती थी आवाज सिसकने की जिंदानों से आती थी आवाज सिसकने की जैसे कि सकीना को जैसे कि सकीना को हर जिंदा रो रहा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो या पाबंद ना मुरादे हाय पाबंद न हो आले पे न पहरा हो, या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो, या रब कोई मासूमा जिंदा में न तन्हा हो। या हुसैन 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 या हुसैन
आशूर की शब हाय सकी ना का वो रोना, आशूर की शब हाय सकी ना का वो रोना, और सैयद मजलूम का बेटी से ये कहना, अरे तू रोए मैं ये देख नहीं सकता सकीना, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, पहलू में कभी माँ के भी सोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात के रोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात के रोया करो बीबी। क्या हो किसी शब्द को जो हम घर पे न आए, तुम हमको न पाओ तुम्हें हम भी नहीं पाए, तड़पोगी नहीं दर्द से वादा करो बीबी, पहलू में कभी माँ के भी सोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, पहलू में कभी माँ के भी सोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, बैठा करो कुछ देर जरा गो को बुझा कर, समझा करो इस बात को लाडली बिस्तर, बाली कभी यूं ही नहीं पहना करो बीबी, पहलू में कभी माँ के भी सोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, पहलू में कभी माँ के भी सोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, कुछ देर को ये फर्ज करो हम न रहे कर, बाकी न रहे हाथ कोई रखने को सर पर, माहौल यतीमों का भी सोचा करो बीबी, पहलू में कभी माँ के भी सोया करो बीबी, अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी, पहलू में कभी माँ के भी सोया करो बीबी, या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein.
Ole pidar se akbar barchi na khechna bole pidar se akbar barchi na khechna है जाने अब लबों पर है जाने अब लबों पर बरछी न खींचना बोले किधर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना बोले किधर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना बाबा नजर को फेर लो दम टूटने लगा बरछी के पल से खून है दिल का रुका हुआ उबलेगा खून जमीन पर उबलेगा खून जमीन पर बरछी न खींचना बोले पैदर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना बोले पैदर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना मैंने तुम्हें बुलाया था ताकि मैं कह सकूं बिल्कुल ना गम करो मेरे दिल को है अब सकून बैठे रहो यहाँ मगर बैठे रहो यहाँ मगर बरछी न खींचना बोले कदर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना बोले कदर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना अम्मा को ये खबर न हो मेरे सीना लगी काश आ गया है बस जरा शिद्दत की प्यासी मैं आ रहा हूँ जाओगे मैं आ रहा हूँ जाओगे बरछी न खींचना बोले किधर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना बोले किधर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना बोले हुसैन बाप को फैला रहे हैं आप मालूम है कि से कहाँ जा रहे हैं आप कहते हो मुँह को फेर कर कहते हो मुँह को फेर कर बरछी न खींचना बोले इधर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना बोले इधर से अकबर बरछी न खींचना मौला ने या अली कहा दिल को संभाल कर फिर खुद ही लगा गए पर्ची निकाल पर कहते रहा जवान पिसर कहते रहा जवान पिसर पर्ची न खींचना बोले फिर से अकबर पर्ची न खींचना बोले फिर से अकबर पर्ची न खींचना बोले फिर से अकबर पर्ची न खींचना या हुसैन 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 बुलंद सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद
السلام عليك يا سيدي ومولاي يا أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين يا حبيب الله العالمين يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين يا سيد الوسيين يا علي بن أبي طالب. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا أبا محمد الحسن بن علي المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. From the bottom of your heart. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين خصوص سيدي ومولاي يا أبا الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين وهاني بن عروة ومسلم بن عقيل وحبيب بن مظاهر وهرى الرياحي. والسلام عليكم يا شهداء كربلاء. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي وإمام الحجة المهدي. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان الأمان الأمان الأمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. أجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل الله تعالى محرجه وزحوره. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا
Thank you so much.